My name is Camille. I'm from Ezential Yoga, and I am pretty darn sure today is Tuesday, and feeling much better than last week. Let me close my door here. Today, we're going to go over 4 poses for a, you usually start like a Vinyasa flow. You start with a warm-up or a meditation, a warm-up, and then like building fire, and then you usually have a power flow, and then you go into the logs, usually yin poses for your relaxation, and then final shavasana. So today, since I've been doing a lot of more like warm-up type poses, today I'd like to go over the middle part. So building your fire, building the fire before, you really start getting into like the power yoga moves. So I have 4 poses today. It's Warrior 1, to a standing split, and then to a yoga squat, and then we're going to introduce crow. So we'll just break down the poses, and then Thursday I'll show you how it all goes together. So your first one is Warrior 1. So what you do, oh, and see, it's winter here, so I figured if I wore daisies, maybe I could fake it and say there's sunshine outside, which is not. So anyone on the East Coast into the Midwest, oh boy, we know. Okay, so you're going to start, usually you would start with a reverse swan dive, and you're coming down. So hands up overhead, then come down to the ground. Once again, if you're really unable to touch the ground, I'm going to move back a little bit so you can see. If you can't do this, bend your knees. It's all good. Okay, so we want fingertips on the ground. So this is your forward fold. And then you're going to come up, hands to your shins with a flat back, looking out, say like to the top of your mat. And then hands down to the ground, bend your knees as much as you need to. Come back into a plank. Okay, so you can have your knees up. You can have knees down. So if you did knees down, you would bring your chest in between your hands, coming up to an upward facing dog or a mini cobra if you are here and you want your legs on the ground. If you want your legs up, then we're in full upward facing dog. Tucking our toes, coming back to downward facing dog. Okay, once again, in downward facing dog, we want our ears between our biceps. And you really want to push that weight back from your hands to your feet so that you have that upside down V. Okay, from here, just walk your feet up to your hands. Well, actually, let's go back. We'll go into Warrior 1 from there. All right, so we're downward facing dog. Bring your right foot in between your hands. If you need to help it along, so say you got stuck here, bring it up. You're going to flatten your back foot, and then we're going to come up. You can have hands here if you need help, but really do try to come up straight. And what we're doing with our hips. So what I usually do is I come towards Warrior 1 and I physically turn my hips so that they're pointing this way. You don't want them out. You actually want them facing that front leg. Okay, so once I'm set in my hips, you want to look down. See where your knee placement is. You actually want it a little towards your pinky toe. So you really want to be able to see that big toe. Okay? With this alignment, you don't want knee over toe. So if you really want to widen your step, move the legs out. You always want that 90-degree angle. If you push the knee past your foot, that's going to put a lot of pressure on the knee cap. So try not to do that. Okay, so, and if you're like kind of stuck here and back here is a little, just, move the foot in a little bit. So Warrior One is very much a lunge. Here it is, it's a lunge. So once you're here and you're set up, then you're going to try to work towards bringing your arms up straight. Once again, really try to get your ears between your biceps. And you want dynamic fingers. So you want to be, so my fingers are reaching out. They're not, here's Warrior One. You want this. So you want, fingers like pointing towards the sky. And then if you have no issues in your neck, then you can feel free to look up. If you have neck issues, I have neck issues, I usually keep it neutral, especially if you're in the part of the flow that you have to hold it for 5-6 breaths. So keep your head in a good position. Okay, they usually say look ups because it does challenge your balance. So this is usually the full expression of the pose. Okay, so then our next move is standing split. So that was Warrior One. Standing split, here I am, all the way out here. So you're going to bring your foot back to your 2 feet. And what you want to do, you're going to do a forward bend, forward fold. And I'm going to keep my standing leg, my right leg. All right, so you can bend this right knee, and what you want to do is start to bring your left foot up in the air. All right, so this is a standing split. This is a standing split. Wherever you're at is fine. Okay, and what you want to try to do is try to keep your gaze at your kneecap. Okay, if you're good here and you're like, this is all I got, terrific. What you want to try to do is try to eventually walk those hands towards the foot. And you really want to try to get your nose to your knee. Is that going to happen? Maybe. Maybe yes. Maybe no. And that's okay. All right, and then some fabulous people, like they can hold on to their leg and really like get their nose right to their knee. God bless. I say, all right. I can get, if I'm warmed up, I can usually get pretty close, but not, So anyway, so this is your standing split. And then from standing split, bring your legs down. So here we are in a forward fold. And what you want to do is bring your legs out wide. So say my mat is here, bring your feet out wider than your mat. Okay? You can even have them rotated out. And I'm going to show you the squat just from this vantage point so you can see where I'm going here. All right, so my feet are splayed out. And what you're going to do is come down. So if you're here, great. If you're here, that's okay. Now, what you want to try to do, get yourself, I usually play around with it because, I don't know the exact width. So you want to try to get your elbows, try to get your elbows inside of your knees, and you really want to try to be as straight up as possible. And what you also want are your feet flat. So if your feet are up here, try to come up here. You definitely want feet flat on a squat. All right? So try to be as straight up as possible. Try to get the bum down to the ground or close to it. And this is a ridiculously awesome stretch for your hips, I can tell you that. So as I said, you don't have to come all the way down to here. Wherever you're at is perfect. Remember, this is practice, not perfect. So, all right, now, here's a transition to crow. Crow's probably going to take the most time. Oh, let me show you something. So, with your squat, you can actually use a block, okay? So, whatever's going to make you comfortable. You want to be able to enjoy your yoga practice. You don't want to do your yoga practice and there's going to be times there's struggle, and that's okay. But there's only one you in the class. You're it. You are the only you in class. So do what you're able to do. Some days are better than others, and you have to be okay with that. It's all right. This is the body that you brought into class, and that's okay. Okay? All right. So say I don't really have the depth in my squat, and really like being in that position like hurts my hips, maybe my knees. Just try to make it as comfortable as possible, as much as you can make a squat comfortable. All right, so you can actually, if you want, you can bring your block up to there, and here you are, you're sitting. No, you're still in that yoga squat. If you can get down a little bit more, but you just need a little bit support, you can put it all the way there. That's the wonderful thing about blocks. You have 3 different positions. You have flat, tall, and then you have medium. So maybe you want the medium one, just for a little support, okay? So a block is always useful. All right, so with crow. Took me a while to figure out how to do crow. And I'll tell you one thing that actually really helped was my gaze. Not my arm strength. That always helps, don't get me wrong. But your gaze really does make a lot of difference when you're doing crow, because if you're looking straight down, your balance is off. So the gaze is everything. I will tell you that. All right, and you can definitely use blocks. Use what you got. Now, if you're doing crow for the first time, I don't suggest you do crow, on cement. Just protect your face. So I would maybe, have a soft mat, double up your mat. That's good. Like, just because I've done a face plant during a crow, and, and that's okay. I didn't get damaged, didn't break my nose, everything's fine. But be a little bit safe until you know that you can get in and out of crow safely. Safety first. Okay? So, I'll show you what I can do, and then we'll use the blocks. All right, so we're in Malasana, which is the yoga squat. All right, so from yogi squat, you're going to bring your arms down. So see, my elbows are still on my knees, okay? So I'm pushing my knees out, and my knees are pushing my arms in. You have this like nice tension, okay? So what you want to do from Malasana, you're going to keep your knees on your triceps or at your elbows, wherever you're at. And you want to play around with the balance here, okay? So I kind of like my toes in, and then I really do get my knees like on my tricep. Okay, you're going to bring your hands out in front of you, not too far, not too close. You sort of just want to, be able to see your hands. And you're going to tippy toe. Do one toe. If you get one foot off, fabulous. If you don't get any off, that's okay. All right, so my gaze is out. My gaze is not down. You don't need to look between your hands. You want to look out, away from your hands, like look out. All right, so here we are. And there's your crow. Yay! So for a long time, I was looking between my hands, just looking down, and that's when I would fall down. So what you can do, put a block out in front of you, and you could even put a block where your toes are. All right, so here I am in Malasana, okay? Just quick, put a block between your feet, between your ankles. Okay, and I have my block there. So actually, place your hands where your block is. All right, so we're going to do our prep again. We're going to push ourselves forward. I'm in complete control. My toes, like I'm not falling anywhere, okay? All right, and what you can do is put your toes on the block. So that way you get that height with your knees like on your triceps. All right, we're going to come forward. And see if you have that block there, you can always come back and you won't roll all the way back. Your toes will hit the block. Okay, so and this block here is just for if you really do push yourself all the way forward, your head will touch the block and it won't be bad. I use nice fluffy block at the $5 store because they're squishy, which I love. Anyway, so you have Warrior 1. It's a standing split to Malasana or Yogi squat. And then you get ready for prep. Now some fancy people, I haven't quite have the ab strength yet for it, but I'm working on it, is crow, shoot the legs out, and then you're in, chaturanga. Fantastic. I say, yeah, that's great. So this would be what mine would look like. So I'm rolled forward, I'm in my crow, and I can't, you really do have to shoot them out. So, fabulous. Do it. To me, yoga is a place to practice, and I don't think you ever get perfect. There's no one, who has a perfect practice. There's always something, because everybody has a different body type. Everybody has different joints, different mobility, and, and that's okay. So you work towards what you want to do. So anyway, those are the 4 poses. Warrior 1, standing split, Malasana or yoga squat to crow. So Thursday, we're going to work through the flow. Okay, we're going to go through that at least 5 times. So what I'll do is I'll take pictures of me in each pose, and I'll write little descriptions of what we were talking about today. And that way you get an idea of, the pose and any modifications or any, alignment, especially Warrior 1 because of the hip alignment. So I'll post that today, and then I'll see you on Thursday where we'll put it all together and do a great flow. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day. And I will talk to you guys on Thursday. Have a wonderful day. And once again, my name's Camille from Ezential Yoga. Have a great day. Bye.